Hello and welcome to the video. This is a video about this latest quad from DarwinFPV. This is the DarwinFPV Ape Star X5. This is one of the top full configuration versions that have all of the bells and whistles on it. Now, DarwinFPV have been around for quite a while. They initially started out by making some very cost-effective, sometimes cheap and cheerful, ready-to-fly quads and technology. And with some of the other suppliers out of China struggling to get their ready-to-fly quads into the market, it's interesting to see DarwinFPV stepping up and starting to fill out their roster with these kind of quads. Now, when they contacted me about this DarwinFPV X5, I said, yeah, absolutely, send it in. And very rarely I will get genuinely surprised about how nice something is here. Usually my expectations are kind of set pretty correctly. But compared to all the stuff I've had in historically from DarwinFPV, which has been absolutely fine, this is absolutely a cut above. If this had had something like a Speedybee brand with yellow plastics on it, I would have absolutely believed that this was a Speedybee product. And in my humble opinion, that is a massive compliment, because Speedybee have been my go-to up to now for ready-to-fly quads and components. Now, this Ape style frame is available in lots of different variations, and it's really built around freestyle flying. It's beautifully built and nicely set up, so if you wanted it as one of your first 5-inch quads to dip your toe in the water and practice with, it's going to be able to do that. But similarly, if you're a more accomplished pilot with some skill, it's going to be able to keep up with you too. There are some cute little pieces on here. For example, there is the GPS at the front. Sadly, only the GPS, the compass isn't there, so we can't use it with things like iNav or something more sophisticated. But that does mean that in the on-screen display, we can get things like distance, direction to home, speed, altitude, but also we have the GPS rescue mode. So if something does happen, the thing can fly back to you. This is available in both 5 and 6-inch versions, Dead Cat and Standard X layouts, analog and HD versions. I've got the analog version here because unfortunately the HD versions are only the GGI 04 stuff. Come on, Darwin, wake up. GGI 04 is only a small fraction of the HD systems out there in use today, but it could be used for all kinds of different things, and with the longer arms, more efficient props, potentially you're into Explorer Class 2. Two 507 brushless motors on this, so a little bit more chunky than the 2207s that lots of other models tend to have. That's going to give you a lot more torque, and that's going to improve things like wind resistance and also give you better long range flying. They have also thickened the mortise and tenon arms. They've made this a lot more crash resistant, which I think is a great idea. And that's going to also reduce the amount of vibration coming back into the flight controller. While we're talking about the flight controller, let's talk about that, because inside this there is something a little unusual. I took the top deck off and the side pieces to get to the USB port to plug it into a computer to have a look at Betaflight, and found that they have weatherproofed this. It's actually IP64 waterproofing on the top, and there are little lenses on top of the LEDs so that when they light up you can see them clearly through the waterproof stuff at the top. It's almost like a grey silicone that's been put on the top to protect everything. Underneath, there's also an LED setup and dual buzzers. So it's 49 high brightness LED tail lights and 2 buzzers. So that means that this is going to be easy to see if you fly it into a bush, but also if you crash it into long grass. Those buzzers are incredibly useful to help you find it when you're doing your walk of shame. In the box, there's also motor guards, but there's guards all over the place with this. These side pieces on here mean that if you do come down in grass and the blades act as a lawnmower, they're not going to throw all of that grass into the inside of the model, and if it's wet, potentially that's going to become in contact with things like the connections on the side of the ESC, which are going to cause you an issue. The top plate is lovely and long as well, so it does mean that you can get a nice chunky battery on there, so if you wanted longer flight times, there's the room to put it on as well. And obviously there is the place to mount an action camera if you want to do that behind the GPS. Not a brilliant place, because most action cameras are going to occlude the GPS GPS's view of the sky, but that is an option for you. But the simple amount of space here is actually pretty good. There's about 10 centimeters between the back of the orange plastics at the front, the 3D printed part, and the cable at the back. And there's also in the box something called the Darwin Care Card. This is only valid when you're ordering the Ape Star X5 and the Care Card at the same time, so you can't order it afterwards, you have to kind of order it with it. I guess it's like, you know, insurance. And that gives you 2 lots of 25% discount on some of the stuff that you can buy. A nice idea, not quite the Armatan complete coverage for any frame breakages, but still a nice idea. In terms of the Betaflight setup, once I got the sides off and plugged it in, it looks like this. There is something in the data flash, so it has been armed for the factory. Fantastic. Everything looks great. ESC telemetry setup. We have the receiver on UART5. The VTX, this is analog, is on UART1. GPS UART2, standard stuff. 8K gyro and PID loops. CPU load is about 38%. Like I said, the tune and setup is actually very nice out the box. Air mode is turned on, standard stuff. Power and battery look like this. I'll put a dump and diff down below so you can go and have a look. Interestingly, the failsafe should be set to GPS rescue. That probably tells me that the hover point isn't set correctly, so I would probably do that in here just to make sure that if there is an issue, you're going to get the benefit of having a GPS at the front, which is kind of the whole point. Bid tuning looks like this. Check the dump and diff for full details. Receiver is an external CRSF receiver that is at the back with one single antenna mounted horizontally, but standard stuff. Modes is something I would probably come in here and mess around with. Having your arming and the modes set on the same arming channel is a bit weird. GPS looks like it might be working actually, might be powered, just not got a lock. On-screen display is going to need a bit of work. It's a little bit cluttered. Everybody has their own kind of layout, but apart from that, everything is pretty much as you would expect. In terms of the flying, there are absolutely no surprises at all. With quads that are well set up like this, it just does what it says on the tin. Hover point is nice and low, about quarter throttle on a 6S battery, so you could probably get away with a 4S battery. Maximum current flying around is about 9 amps, and it will run through about 330 milliamps every 3 minutes. So with the battery I've got on here, I'm actually going to get a reasonable flight time of 8 or 9 minutes if I'm not caning it. It will support both very gentle flying, but also flying it like a hooligan. So if you wanted to get into 5-inch quads, have something that's going to be super stable, well built and work out the box, but also be able to keep up with you as your skills progress and you want to start to do more aggressive flying and flippy floppy stuff, this is absolutely going to do that for you. Tune and setup is really nice in terms of the FPV image. Well, you know what? It's analog FPV, it's about what you'd expect. As somebody that flies a lot of HD FPV, it's always a bit jarring to go back to good old analog. The only other thing I'll talk about here is that big amber light at the back. It makes orientation really easy. So if you want to do some line of sight, or you're doing a GPS rescue and you're waiting for it to come back to you, that amber light is like the back of a big firefly. It makes it really easy to see orientation and to spot it. And if you do tend to drop it in the grass at dusk, then it's going to make it super easy to find, along with those 2 buzzers at the back as well. As I said in the beginning of the video, this quad has seriously impressed me, and that doesn't happen very often. There's lots of things I really like. I love the build quality, I love the way the frame's been finished and how they've actually put it together. I'm also a massive fan of things like the flight controller protection and the waterproofing that they've done. So even if you're flying this around and you land in wet grass or a puddle, it isn't going to destroy your quad. I'm also a fan of the way that it's set up, the way they've done Betaflight and given you all the options, with the exception of it being set for the GPS rescue, but more on that in a second. With very minor tweaks, this is going to be right up your street. And I also like the nice touches like the GPS and this side protection. There's lots of additional little flourishes on here that really round this quad out and make it a really nice piece of kit. Only a couple of things to be aware of. The first is that this is only available as an analog or a DJI 04 version. Come on Darwin, wake up. Walksnail and HD0 as well as other systems are becoming popular choices. There is more than one game in town. Stop listening to your DJI rep. I'd also welcome the addition of one of these without any FPV equipment in it at all. That would save you a little bit of money, because at the moment you'd have to buy the analog one and scrap the analog kit if you wanted to put your Walksnail or HD0 or whatever inside. Sadly, no compass in the GPS unit, although you don't need a compass for things like the Betaflight GPS Rescue or the autonomous flying stuff now in iNav. I would strongly recommend that if you're going to position this as an Explorer class, that you put a compass in here. That means then I could potentially flash it with something like iNav and then have the ability to park this in 3D space, fly missions, and have a return to home that worked even when it was windy. No easy access to the USB port at the side. You have to open this side piece, and the way I've been doing that so I don't break any plastics is to take the top deck off and then move that out the way, and then I can plug it in. Having some kind of connection to something like the Speedybee app to make changes would be really nice if you're going to hide the USB port. I understand that they've hidden it for good reason so that it helps with the waterproofing. They've put a little kind of rubber seal in the end of it as well that you can pull out when you connect it, but every time I want to tweak or change something I have to get the screwdriver out, and that isn't ideal. Speaking of screws, that's my last little point. Do check on yours that they are nice and tight. A couple on mine weren't quite tight enough for my liking, so if you get yours, just go around with a hex driver and just make sure everything is nipped up. So in summary, this is a seriously impressive ready-to-fly quad that's based on a really nice frame that could be perfect for a build too. As I've said, if this had Speedybee printed on it, I'd have believed it. And that, in my book, is high praise indeed. So if you're looking for a solid, well-specced and well-built ready-to-fly model, then this should be on your list to check out. This represents one of the best value quads I've had in here for a long time. DarwinFPV have been known for quality and affordable price, but this, for the money, is actually very, very good. Well done, Darwin. Now all you have to do is offer it in non-DJI SKUs and pop a compass in there so that we can be fully iNav capable too. It is marketed as an Explorer class, so that should be an option. Thank you for watching my video. Check out the playlist, and adding Painless 360 to your search terms will help you find my content. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. You can support the time I spend here answering questions and helping others by using the links in the video description.